Welcome back in. Welcome back in. It's your boy Mike coming back at y'all, man. Week 9 as we prepare to take on the Kansas City Chiefs, who are currently sitting at 5-3. And look, do know, man, elephant in the room. Know it's been a few weeks since I uploaded. Made a couple community posts about that. All I can say, man, life been lifing. That's that's really what it boils down to. But we're back in business. We're ready to continue this grind in year 4. And I got something special planned for y'all over the next couple of days. So stay tuned. But let's hop right into it. Weekly awards. Last week, Enrique Sneed, 2 sacks, 8 tackles. Definitely a big part of why we were able to shut the Rams down in that ball game. Jalen Hurts going 16 of 22 for 287, 4 touchdowns. Did get sacked once. Lamar 174 and a touchdown through the air, 82 yards and 2 touchdowns on the ground. Also had an interception as well. Oh man. Sorry, y'all. I'm a little rusty, man. We do have we do have an elite quarterback this week, as we know, Patrick Mahomes. We're going to try to hold him to under 250 yards passing, 3 man and zone coverage boost to our entire secondary this week. That is going to be huge, especially when you give Mahomes some weapons. We know he doesn't need them based on their Super Bowl run over the last few years. But it does start with this guy, man, number 15, now 30 years old, out of Texas Tech, and still the best quarterback in the NFL, 99 overall. And I mean, he really needs no introduction. He can hit throws anywhere and all over the field, whether in the pocket, moving around, off platform, and he has the ability with his legs as well to just really make you pay regardless of how you try to defend him. And it makes it even more difficult when he has a running back as good as Isaiah Pacheco in the backfield alongside him. Just 26 years old now in his 5th season, superstar running back, 94 speed. So he really has some of that top end speed at the position. 82 trucking, 90 juke move, can really do it all. Can catch it a little bit out of the backfield as well. 70 catching, 65 short route running. Certainly someone that we're going to have to game plan for secondarily, after Mahomes, but game plan nonetheless. And how about Kadarius Toney, now 27 years old? Been with the Chiefs for quite a few seasons at this point. Unfortunate for him, in real life, that he really has just not been a good player throughout the course of his career. Health concerns, just dropping the ball. I mean, Mahomes can only, not just Mahomes, but any quarterback throwing it to you can only put it as perfect as they can before it really falls on you. But he's an 87 overall here. He'll be dangerous, as well as third-year tight end Rudy Smith. They drafted him while Kelsey was still playing for the team. He is since retired. But Rudy Smith is taking over the keys. Not a bad drop-off here, 87 speed, so definitely a bit more of a burner than Kelsey was. Decent hands as well. His route running is still a work in progress, but he's still a really young guy, so a lot of room for growth there. Defensively, Chris Jones, man, the man who just got the bag from the Chiefs, one of the main pillars of the Chiefs dynasty in real life, and he continues to be just an absolute game wrecker here. 96 power moves to go with 96 strength, 89 finesse moves, 86 block shed. I mean, he can get it done in a number of different ways, whether that's pushing the pocket, being a decoy, eating up blocks, power moves, finesse moves. It really doesn't matter, especially when you have a linebacker as good as Nick Bolton, who is also still just 26 years old at 92 overall. And we know Nick Bolton is one of the better linebackers in the NFL in real life. And here in the game, one of the best, number 3, actually, ranked middle linebacker in the league here in year 4, 88 speed, 98 tackling, 82 zone. I mean, there's really nothing that this guy can't do short of asking him to, cover a receiver, a really good receiver. And even then, he certainly has a chance. And Trent McDuffie, 25 years old, 89 overall. McDuffie in real life, man, just really blossoming into one of the league's best corners, certainly one of the best young corners. And in the game, it's more of the same. 91 speed, 89 man, 86 zone. The 82 press may be something that this Cardinals offense can look to take advantage of, but he's just so well-rounded in his skill set that that's not necessarily something that we'll be able to do. And then at safety, the rookie Jalen Weatherspoon, 23 years old, out of Wisconsin, and he is a superstar X-Factor player. Now, the speed is concerning if you're Kansas City. 84 speed on the back end is really not great, but with the way that his skill set is, 86 hit power, tackling better than his coverages, I'm sure that we'll see quite a bit of him in the box a little bit, as a box safety, playing more of that linebacker hybrid type of role. But here we are, man, and the player showcase is going to Glenn Roberts, 202 for 334, 3,005 yards, 28 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, well on his way to what, if you're Glenn Roberts, if you're Arizona, hoping to be his best season yet. Yes, he did lift the Lombardi last season, but he struggled for a good portion of it. From the last couple of weeks through the playoff run and through the first half of the season here, he has been a completely different player. This was someone that we were thinking about potentially moving off of during his second season last year, and he proved us wrong. At least did what he needed to do, managed the game, and really leaned on the powerful running game with Ty Davis-Price and Antonio Gibson. But that hasn't been the case this year. Ty Davis-Price has been injured for basically the entirety of it, and it's been Antonio Gibson in the backfield alongside him. But let's go ahead and take a look at the rest of this Chiefs roster. Mahomes, of course, at quarterback, Isaiah Pacheco at running back, with now third-year man Jalen Langford behind him, Henry Pearson at fullback. Receivers, Kadarius Toney, Rashee Rice, who we know is spectacular in real life, Richie James as well, and then may see a little bit of second-year man Antoine Fletcher with his 6'5" size. Puka Nacua down there, of course, not the Puka that we know in real life. Rudy Smith and Brevin Jordan at tight end, Wanye Morris left tackle, Joe Thuney at left guard, Creed Humphrey the center, and Trey Smith at right guard. Just an absolutely dominant interior of that offensive line. Jawan Taylor bookending it at right tackle. George Karlaftis at left end, second-year man Eric Cantwell at right end. Chris Jones joined by second-year man George Hayden at defensive tackle. Rookie Stanley Andrews out there on the left-hand side of the linebacking core. Nick Bolton and George Escobar, the rookie, at middle linebacker, with Willie Gay, the veteran, filling in on the right side. Corners, Trent McDuffie, L'Jarius Sneed, one of the two of the best corners in the league and one of the best tandems. St. Juste down there at the third spot. Matt Palmer filling in there at the fourth spot. Jalen Weatherspoon at strong safety, James Brown, the kicker, and Jamie Gillen, the punter. And we are going to go ahead and get things underway here. It's time for some more Arizona Cardinals football. And they're going to start out with Antonio Gibson not taking it out of the end zone, as here comes Glenn Roberts and this Arizona Cardinals offense. Been a while since we saw them in action, but ready to do it here. 3,005 yards, 28 touchdowns, 12 picks. We already went over that. But nonetheless, ready to see him take the field. And one thing to note, this will be the last game before the return of Ty Davis-Price. 1 week sooner would have been spectacular. Having him against a high-powered team such as Kansas City would have been phenomenal. As you see, Roberts taking a shot deep for Rondale Moore early, but McDuffie already putting his fingerprints on this game. 2nd and 10, Antonio Gibson gets the catch out of the backfield. He makes a move, and he has some space down the sideline. 27-yard connection there from Glenn Roberts to Antonio Gibson. Really good way to get this game going. We know how elite the Chiefs offense is. So if you're Arizona, who also is known for having an elite offense, you definitely want to go ahead and strike first, make Kansas City play catch up, as there's 18 more yards from Roberts to Rondale Moore. Now 1st and 10 here at the 30-yard line. Glenn Roberts going to take it under center, making a few adjustments here, as Roberts going to fake the handoff to Antonio Gibson, and Roberts rolling, has a man. He's going to hit him. It's A.J. Ringer. Very good patience there from Roberts. Really good for Ringer to get his feet in to lead to a short 2nd and 1, as Antonio Gibson hits the hole for the first down down at the 11-yard line. And Arizona is rolling here on the opening possession. Now 1st and 10 from the 11. Roberts going to hand off to Antonio Gibson, who tries to make a cut, but Stanley Andrews is all over it. Only going to have a gain of 2 yards there. Now going empty. Roberts in the backfield field all alone, and he's going to look quickly for Rashad Bateman, but Bateman is going to be hit immediately, only going to have a gain of about 5 yards there. Just 4 yards to go between them and pay dirt, as they're going to go back to Antonio Gibson. Gibson trying to power forward and trying to get a push from one of his offensive linemen, not able to make it happen. Willie Gay, the last line of defense there, but they are going to go for it here. Roberts, quick snap and quick throw to Rondale Moore, who holds on through the contact of Willie Gay, and he's going to give his best Gronk spike impression here, as Arizona is first on the board after a very, very good opening drive. Not a whole lot that Kansas City was able to do. Looked like they may have been able to sneak a stop there at the end, but Arizona comes through, and that's going to bring on Patrick Mahomes. We know what he is. 2,138 yards, 15 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, and just 4 picks through their opening 8 games, man. Certainly a recipe for success, as he's looking for Kadarius Toney on the very first play, and Kadarius Toney is going to outrun Andrew Stinson. Toney powering through Lewis Cine and into the end zone. 1 play touchdown for the Kansas City Chiefs, and that is with Andrew Stinson, who is not just our best corner, but one of the league's best corners. He's able to beat him. Mahomes throws a perfect ball. Toney does the rest, and just like that, we are back to a tie ball game, and Antonio Gibson's going to get the carry going left, tries to make a move. He's going to have a gain of 15 yards there, down to the 37-yard line. 1st and 10, going to a formation that they really do love. Roberts under center. He's going to look short for Trey McBride. McBride tries to throw a stiff arm, not able to make it happen there. We know last week against the Rams, 5 catches for 76 yards and a touchdown, as McBride continues his what is looking like a career year. And just a small note on Trey McBride. I like when I am able to find these, kind of stats that aren't necessarily always talked about. This is season 4, and Trey McBride from season 2 had more catches, yards, and touchdowns than he did in season 1. Season 3 had more catches, yards, and touchdowns than he did in season 2. And if he continues the path that he's on this season, he'll have more catches, yards, and touchdowns than he did a season ago. As McBride getting a target there, but Willie Gay, really, really good coverage. Roberts not able to get it over his head. 2nd and 10, play action rollout for Glenn Roberts. Roberts trying to find somewhere to go with it. He's going to have a man. Not sure if he got the feet down, but there is a flag on the play, and controversial early call. It's roughing the passer on linebacker Stanley Andrews. I'm not going to lie to you. I did not think that was roughing the passer at all. Had that been called against me, I would have been furious. And it is rough that the Kansas City had to deal with that just now. But you take it in stride. 1st and 10, Antonio Gibson goes up the middle for a gain of 4. Leading now to a 2nd and 6 from the 11-yard line. Here's Roberts again going into that empty look. Roberts going to go up the gut. Roberts is going to fumble, and Kansas City is going to hop on it. Stanley Andrews said, "Ball don't lie." Shouldn't have gotten the flag thrown for the roughing the passer. He instead takes the ball away, giving his offense the ball once again. But it is going to be under review. The booth calls down and says that they want to take a further look at it. And after further review, Roberts, it looked like he got a knee down, 2 elbows, the butt, the head. Everything is down. You know what I'm saying? There's really nothing there to say that Kansas City should maintain possession of that football, and they will overturn it, as Arizona now set for a 3rd and 5 after near disaster. And they're going with 3 receivers on the right-hand side. Here's Roberts going quickly to Rondale Moore. Moore breaks the tackle, and Moore is going to power himself into the end zone, putting on his best Kadarius Toney impression, it seems. This time he's going to play the violin on the man. 2 touchdowns for Rondale Moore here in the first quarter, in the early going of this game, as this offense is just continuing to click. Antonio Gibson, I don't know that you could ask for a better number 2 back. It at least as far as the production that he's provided. He's had big games. He's had games where he didn't have as many yards, but was really moving the chains when he needed to. As here we go, 1st and 10, Kansas City. Enrique Sneed letting one sneak right by him, got his hands on it, and as a rookie intercepting Mahomes, man, especially as veteran as he is at this point, would have been wonderful. As here's Mahomes going right side on the scramble, going to hit Rashee Rice, who gets his first reception of the ball game. Now 3rd and 5, Mahomes in the shotgun. He's looking, trying to find a man, Rice again, but Lewis Seen says, not on my watch. Enrique Sneed, you can forgive him. You know, he's a linebacker. He's a rookie. I'm sure you have some jitters playing against a legend, you know, if not the GOAT at this point, then, you know, one of the top 2 or 3 guys to ever do it. Lewis Seen, though, says, I've been in this league. I've seen you before. I'm ready for the big time. And what a turnaround interception for Lewis Seen, giving the ball back to this Arizona offense already in Kansas City territory on the 40-yard line. And Roberts is going to take a deep shot for Rashad Bateman, who looks like he has a step, and he does. He's able to corral it in the back of the end zone despite the coverage of L'Jarius Sneed. And we know that L'Jarius Sneed is not a bum by any stretch of the imagination. He is a very, very good player. But Roberts said, hey, my guy is better than your guy. Rashad Bateman goes out there and proves it. And L'Jarius Sneed was not able to knock that ball loose. Arizona with a 21-7 lead still here in the first quarter. But Mahomes going to have Kadarius Toney there, gain of about 20 yards. Oh, I'm sorry. No, that's not Toney. That's Richie James. Gain of 20 yards down to the 45-yard line. Got a lot of that back in one play. Now Pacheco getting his first carry of the game. Makes throws one man off, rather, as he rumbles for 11 yards into Arizona territory down at the 44-yard line. Now here we go. 1st and 10. Mahomes forced out, and Mahomes going to try to find a man looking for Kadarius Toney, but he's not able to hold on to that one. 2nd and 10. They're staying in that bunch look, and here's Mahomes going to go underneath this time for Toney, and Toney is going to be dropped after a gain of 9. Means it'll be a 3rd and 1 after the conclusion of the quarter, with both teams looking pretty good offensively. Kansas City, of course, did have the one-play touchdown. Mahomes then threw the pick. But all things considered, they've been moving the ball pretty well. 3rd and 1 here, Mahomes looking deep. He's trying to find Rashee Rice again, and for the 2nd time targeting Rashee Rice, the ball is going to be picked by someone other than the person who was guarding Rashee Rice. Jalen Johnson was right there in the throwing lane, or in the window, rather, that Mahomes was looking for. It was a good throw, it was a good read there by Mahomes. Looked like Rashee Rice may have been able to get past Andrew Stinson. No guarantees, but Jalen Johnson makes sure that it doesn't matter, as that's the 2nd interception off of Mahomes now this quarter, as Glenn Roberts missing Antonio Gibson out of the backfield, leading to now a 2nd and 10, as here is Roberts going to go short for Trey McBride, and McBride fumbles. This time there is going to be no debating it. Trey McBride was very clearly still in the air is not really what I wanted to say. Very clearly still up when that ball came out. And McBride, one of the most sure-handed players on our team, very rarely loses balls in that manner. As here we go, 1st and 10, Kansas City trying to throw one short there to Rudy Smith, the tight end. Nothing happening there, and nothing happening on 2nd down either, so it will be a 3rd and 10 as they're trying to set up the screen. Bobbles again. Denario Stewart could have had an interception. A lineman's dream to get a pick would have been that much sweeter off of Patrick Mahomes. Instead, it'll be a long 57-yard field goal for Kansas City to attempt. Here's the second-year kicker, James Brown. Kick is up, had the distance, but just wide right. Kansas City, a drive that looked like it had promise, instead will end with a missed field goal. And that's going to give Arizona the ball back in very favorable position. And they've already been dominating a good portion of this game. They're just 53 yards between them and the end zone once again, as the quick throw out left to Rashad Bateman. Rashad Bateman now hauling in his third pass of the ball game. 2nd and 5, going to a trips look on the right side. Antonio Gibson in the backfield. Read option keeper here from Glenn Roberts, who's trying to outrun Willie Gay to the first down pylon, and he does. Well, first down marker, not the pylon. But it's going to be a fresh set of downs going into that trips look left-hand side. Here's Glenn Roberts looking, scanning, rolling out. He's going to look deep for a wide open Rondale Moore, but not able to hit him. The pressure from Stanley Andrews combined with the throw on the run means an inaccurate pass. But here we go, 2nd and 10. Roberts taking it this time from under center, and he's going to go back to old reliable on the underneath route. This time it's Zach Chambers who's able to rumble for quite a few, about 18 yards or so. Willie Gay with 5 tackles already. That's insane. Play action, Russ, exactly. I don't know why I said Russ. I was talking to a friend of mine. If y'all don't know, Bankroll Mafia, man, check out his Denver Broncos franchise. You'll see him in my community posts. Big shout out to that dude, man. He's the reason I got into content creation myself. But Roberts tried to go quick to Rashad Bateman with the favorable matchup against Benjamin St-Juste, but St-Juste is all over it. Looks like a bit of a low throw from Roberts. Kansas City now back with the ball as here we go. He has a man. It's Rashee Rice, and Rashee Rice is off to the races. We know he's not a burner, but Lewis seen just not enough field to catch him. And that is the second one-play drive touchdown that Kansas City has had in this game. Mahomes puts an absolute laser right in the breadbasket for Rashee Rice. He does the rest by running it out. And just like that, Kansas City now just one possession behind. But Arizona back on offense and looking to make up for the mishap on the previous possession. Roberts going middle of the field up the seam to Trey McBride for a gain of 26 yards. As Roberts nearly at 200 yards here in the not even halfway through the second quarter here. Definitely looking like it could be a good game. But as we say that, Stanley Andrews does actually get his revenge from the earlier roughing the passer call, bringing down Glenn Roberts for a loss of 11. And that's a big time play there for Kansas City's defense. It's going to force a really, really long second down and kind of tie the hands of Arizona a bit. But they're going to go for the play action fake anyway. Roberts connects with Rondale Moore for a gain of 13 yards. Oh, also 3 touchdowns in the early going for Roberts. Great job by him. 3rd and 8 now. Roberts, here he is in the shotgun, going to go underneath to Rashad Bateman as Bateman gets them across midfield to the 40-yard line. This possession absolutely rocking and rolling. Going to stay in that trips look. Antonio Gibson in the backfield alongside Roberts, and he's going to get the handoff this time. Tries to hit the hole and does. Tries to make a move, and it works out just a bit. Gain of 6 yards down to the 34. Now 2nd and 4, again going into that empty look. Roberts trying to find Trey McBride, who was wide open off the snap. Not able to connect with him that time. 3rd and 4. And Roberts going to hand off to Antonio Gibson. And Gibson, of course, man, able to get enough for that first down. Big gap there in the Kansas City defense on the left side. Cardinals take advantage as Roberts is going to go ahead and scramble this one out himself. He's going to lose the ball, but so close to the sideline, it really didn't matter. Gain of 15 yards there for Glenn Roberts, who's been using his legs quite a bit so far in this one. 1st and 10. This time he's not going to miss the connection with his short-handed tight end. Trey McBride finds his way into the end zone for the Arizona touchdown. That's 4 first half touchdown passes now from Glenn Roberts, 2 to Rondale Moore, 1 to Rashad Bateman, 1 now to Trey McBride to complete the trio of their top 3 targets, all finding the end zone. Arizona now back with a more comfortable 2-score lead as the second quarter continues to tick down. 3:25 to go. Mahomes in the shotgun. Mahomes scanning, looking left side, has Rudy Smith. Jalen Thompson upends him down at the 39-yard line. Just the 6th completion of the day for Patrick Mahomes. But, I mean, when you're completing 75-yard passes every other drive, not sure you need to do a whole lot more than that. As the pass is going to be knocked away by Jalen Johnson. Now 2nd and 10. Here is the bunch look from the Chiefs once again, something that Arizona tends to struggle with as Mahomes gets a rocket downfield to Kadarius Toney, and Amani Harris Not sure how he was able to knock that ball away. Really more so on the less reliable hands of Tony and on that occasion, I'd say. And then a really, really well-timed screen call as Richie James nearly converts that for a first down. He doesn't. Instead, Cardinals. Casey will punt it away. Arizona has the ball after a beautiful punt from Kansas City at the 3-yard line. You see Roberts misses there. Second down was more of the same. So here's 3rd and 10. Quick throw to Rashad Bateman. Not able to make anything happen. Kansas City calls their first timeout and backed up so far into their end zone. Have to punt it away. As here is Rashad. Oh my God. I wanted to say Richie James, but that is Kadarius Toney there for Kansas City down to the 28-yard line, and he's going to hit his man again. Kadarius Toney just absolutely, that was, oh my God, that was Rashee Rice. Again, y'all, give me some grace. It's been 2 weeks. Still trying to get back into the rhythm of things. As this time, man, really dangerous pass up the seam to Richie James, and he pays for it. Big hit from Lewis Seen. 39 seconds to go here in the half, and Isaiah Pacheco makes the hard cut, finds the hole into the end zone, and Kansas City, who really it feels like has been getting not dominated, but it certainly feels like Arizona's been in firm control of this game up to this point. But with just 37 seconds to go in the first half, it's a one-score game, and Kansas City does get the ball out of the half. But Arizona, with all 3 timeouts, has an opportunity to make something happen, and Glenn Roberts wasted no time going deep for Rashad Bateman. And what a play there from Jalen Weatherspoon, the rookie, to get a hand in there. And that's 84 speed. Not sure he should really be keeping up. But, it is what it is. I digress. Going to connect that right side with Rashad Bateman. Going to call that first time out now at the 44-yard line. Roberts now going deep for Trey McBride as McBride is going to run it out just a little bit. 33-yard connection from them or between them. And now with 23 seconds to go and 2 timeouts, field goal nearly assured, but although we know nothing is ever guaranteed, Roberts chased, and he's going to be able to dump it short to Trey McBride. He gets out of bounds with 7 seconds to go. It's got to be a shot at the end zone and then a field goal attempt if it doesn't work. Going to put one up top for Rashad Bateman. L'Jarius Sneed that time. Nope, that's Trent McDuffie. That time not going to allow anything on his head. Here comes Cameron Dicker, the kicker, up and through the uprights. Arizona with a 10-point lead after a hard-fought first half that saw Kansas City just really take advantage of some big-time plays. 2 75-yard plus one-play touchdowns for them. 31-21 is your score as we head into the half. And let's take a look and see what's going on around the rest of the league. Wow. Okay, I guess I'm going to fill some space in here. Nope, here we go. First things first, you got Seattle taking on San Fran in San Fran. The Niners sitting at just 1-7, but currently leading 10-7 over the division rival Seahawks with 35 seconds to go in the half. We'll see how that one ends. Rookie Stan Layman, 2 interceptions. Tough, man, tough, but that is a tough 49ers defense. Chicago in Dallas, 7-0 Cowboys, absolutely dominating the 5-3 Bears, up 21-0. Close to the end of the first half. Dak just 1 incompletion. Fields also just 1 incompletion, but 0 points. So, it is what it is. And then the Jets taking on the Steelers in New York, up 10-0 behind Zach Wilson's 61 yards and a touchdown there in the first half. Kenny Pickett just 1 of 3 for 6 yards. I'd like to think that maybe he got injured because 3 pass attempts at halftime with 6 yards is just absolutely insane. But, man, moving into the second half, we know that we need to stop the big play from Kansas City. Patrick Mahomes can do it all. He can slow burn or he can do the big play. But it would definitely be preferable from Arizona's side of things if we weren't allowing one-play touchdowns, again, every other drive. Make him work for it. Really make him grind. Make him have an opportunity to do something that he really shouldn't be doing. And that's the way that you got to start out, man. A quick 3-and-out out of the half forced by this Arizona Arizona defense. And now the offense is back on the field. Play action fake to Antonio Gibson. Roberts trying to find somewhere to go. Scrambles. Andrews was all over him, but Roberts able to get away. Andrews dies, but it doesn't matter. Glenn Roberts, man, talk about using the legs to the best of your ability. 2nd and inches. Thought it might have been 2nd and 20 the way that play started. And now a first down as Zach Chambers hauls that one in for a gain of 24 yards. Onto Kansas City side of the field at the 42-yard line. Roberts going to take the snap, and Roberts this time not going to be able to get away from the pressure, and it's going to force a terrible throw right into the awaiting hands of Willie Gay, who I know we talked about Nick Bolton as one of the primary playmakers on this defense, but I would argue it's been Willie Gay who has truly been, their biggest difference maker at that linebacker spot so far this game. And he makes another big play there to give his team give his offense the ball back. 1st and 10 now. Here's Mahomes. Man, what a throw. Talk about throwing with anticipation. 19-yard connection there from Mahomes to Kadarius Toney into Arizona territory, and it's 1st and 10. Here's Mahomes going. Has a man, Rudy Smith. Not sure what Jalen Thompson was doing there, but it did not work out. And it's not a one-play touchdown, but a 41-yard score for the third-year tight end. And just like that, barring or pending the extra point, rather, Kansas City within 3 points after being down 21-7 in the first quarter. They're on a 21-10 run, and Arizona needs to make something happen on offense because Kansas City's getting a little too close for comfort as they're going to start things out with Antonio Gibson, who's only going to have a gain of about 1 there. Now 2nd and 9, going back to that empty look. Here's Roberts trying to go short to Trey McBride, and does. McBride goes ahead and runs it out for about 13 yards to the 33. As Roberts has been doing a really good job of spreading the love. Rondale Moore, Rashad Bateman, and Trey McBride, each with at least 5 catches, tried to get Rondale Moore one more right there, just barely overthrows him. And 2nd down would be more of the same, nothing going. So 3rd and 10, Roberts going, trying to go quickly for Antonio Gibson, and throws a hospital ball as he is leveled by Nick Bolton. And now Kansas City back on the field. Oh, man, that had disaster written all over it. Jalen Johnson, though, fortunately able to recover and knock the ball out of the hands. Now 2nd and 10. Mahomes still wasting no time getting that first down. It's Rashee Rice. As Rashee Rice, man, he's been having himself a pretty good game. We know what he is in real life, but here in the franchise, he's only an 81 overall. So the fact that he's been able to find so much space has to be encouraging if you're a Kansas City Chiefs fan, especially considering that he is still relatively young. As Brevin Jordan hauls that one in for 6. Handoff now to Pacheco, who hasn't gotten many, just his 4th of the ball game. But, a couple first downs and a touchdown on those carries. He is making the most of them for sure. 1st and 10, bunch look to the right, but it doesn't matter as Mahomes is going to be blitzed off the edge by Andrew Stinson, who we know that this season, that's been something that they've seen him do a lot more. In the past, they really weren't 100% certain that that's something they wanted to do with him being their best cover man. But when you have still 2 of the best corners in the league, behind him, it's something you can kind of gamble on a little bit more, especially when you need to gamble sometimes against Mahomes. And the 3rd and 15, just barely incomplete. Good defense there, but it was still a really good throw from Mahomes. Arizona back on offense. Roberts play action fake, looking deep for Rashad Bateman, misses him once again. As Roberts now 21 of 37, that completion percentage continuing to just go down. But he's going to have A.J. Ringer this time out of the backfield on the play action rollout, who has a gain of about 10 yards for the first down to the 35-yard line. Now going to a 3 tight end look. Roberts, he's going to take a shot for A.J. Ringer. And Ringer, who is being covered by Stanley Andrews, is able to haul that one in. A.J. Ringer, our 2nd round pick in this past draft. We saw that he had a mismatch. Stanley Andrews, yes, is a linebacker, but he is a pass rusher. So we love that matchup all day long. A 36-yard connection from Roberts to Ringer as they're going to be down to the 29-yard line. Handoff to Antonio Gibson gets them 5 to the 25, 2nd and 5. Again, going back to that 3 tight end look, and they're going to hand it off. No play action fake, but Roberts not able to get away. It's Toller, man, coming in unblocked off the edge, and that is how the third quarter will end. Arizona going scoreless, while Kansas City did put up a touchdown of their own. And the passing numbers are very similar, 348 for Kansas City to 340 for Arizona. But it's the ground game that seemingly has been the difference. 3rd and 15, Glenn Roberts content to just go ahead and run it up the middle and put it into the, or not the hands, but put it onto the leg of Cameron Dicker, who pays it off for 3 points. Kansas City now trailing by 6, but giving Mahomes the ball down 6 is a scary proposition as Isaiah Pacheco is hit and injured on the play. You see him holding his head, his fullback trying to give him some love. And unfortunately for Kansas City and for Isaiah Pacheco, that would be the end of his ball game, as Rashee Rice, man, breaking a couple of tackles to get that first down. 6 catches for 117 for the now veteran wide receiver. 1st and 10, Mahomes in the shotgun is going to throw one out of bounds with the pass rush coming or closing in right over the head of Rashee Rice. Nothing happening on 2nd down, so it'll be 3rd and 10. And here's Mahomes. A lot of time, he's going to elect to run it, and Denario Stewart makes him pay for that decision. Arizona now getting the ball right back, but they are going to have a ways to go. Good punt has them down at their own 17-yard line. Play action rollout for Roberts, and he's going to have Rashad Bateman by himself. Rashad Bateman gained a 21 yards there, and this drive needs, if you're Arizona, if you want to feel comfortable, you got to pay it off with some kind of points, whether that's a touchdown, whether that's 3. As Antonio Gibson, man, getting a little bit shifty there, only a gain of 2, but really nice running, really good vision, and they would lose 1 on the 2nd down carry, so it'll be 3rd and 9. Roberts blitzed right up the gut. Guess who? Willie Gay forces a bad throw from Glenn Roberts, and now KC back with the ball. Kadarius Toney 5 for 139 and a score. Both of their top 2 receivers certainly having a field day, not something we generally expect to see considering our caliber of secondary. As 3rd-year man Jalen Langford getting his first carry of the game, and he loses 1. Now 2nd and 11, and Mahomes going to go underneath for Rashee Rice. Man, wow. That was a talk about a hard cut right there. Shifts him out of his shoes a little bit for the first down. Now the handoff to Langford again on the counter, and he's again going to have nowhere to go. As you see, we have taken the ball away from the Chiefs twice, which is a big part of the reason we've been able to maintain this lead. But with 4:11 to go, setting up the screen for the fullback, as a matter of fact. That's something, I don't know if y'all know about it, the progressive fatigue slider in your franchise, or not the slider, the toggle on-off button. It's really more preferable to turn that off, not for the sake of the user, because yes, there are certainly ways that you can manage your team throughout the season so that something like that doesn't happen. But the CPU will, if you have it on, as here's Mahomes, man, just going deep. Rudy Smith, man, if you have that on, it will later in the season certainly affect the CPU team. So I have that off. Not sure why that particular play the fullback was in, as there is the touchdown. Kadarius Toney with his 2nd of the game, and Kansas City, pending the extra point, will take their first lead of the game. But let me just finish my little tangent that I had gone on. It does sometimes cause the CPU to, after X amount of plays where the receiver, running back, tight end gets the ball, they will sometimes just not come back into the game. As you saw, Jalen Langford, after just one play, he hadn't been in the entirety of the game, was holding on, to his knees, breathing really, really hard. And that's just not how I want to run my franchise. I want teams to have their best guys out there. I don't want there to be, some type of loophole where I'm able to go against players that really shouldn't be in those spots. But here we go. 2 minutes to go. Need at least a field goal. Rondale Moore collects that one for a gain of 8. They're going to continue to hurry things up here after the 2-minute warning. 2nd and 2 now. Roberts has to get his team going quickly, man. Minute 40, and you do have 3 timeouts, but you know who's on the other side as Antonio Gibson gets it out of the backfield down to close to midfield. But it is a fresh set of downs. They're continuing to hold on to these timeouts. Kansas City is certainly giving them every opportunity to get into field goal range. Great move by Rashad Bateman to stay in bounds. Kansas City forced to call their first timeout. Now 1st and 10, handoff to Antonio Gibson, and Gibson trying to get outside, tackled in bounds, gain of 5. Kansas City now with their second timeout. 2nd and 5. Again, you got to know they're going to keep it on the ground. Want to force Kansas City to get all the timeouts out of their hands. As her 3rd and 5, Glenn Roberts racing to the first down marker, racing for the end zone. He fumbles. Wow. That was a scary fumble. 3 more yards, and you're talking about a touchback and giving Kansas City the ball with an opportunity to likely ice the ball game. But handoff to Antonio Gibson doesn't go far. They're going to continue to let the clock roll. They are going to call a play here on 2nd and goal, and it's going to be a handoff to Antonio Gibson. But Kansas City again says not on our watch. 3rd and goal. Arizona going to use that timeout. Cameron Dicker out. Kick is up, and it is right down the middle. That was a thrilling contest, man. It should be. Playing against a player of Mahomes' caliber, a coach of Andy Reid's caliber, and Arizona sneaks out with this one. Just 6 second-half points. After scoring 21 in the first, just 16 total points the rest of the way. And it's a 37-35 win for Arizona. 593 total yards of offense to 460 for Kansas City. Did get outgunned through the air, 441 to 411, but had 29 first downs for us. 3 turnovers for us to 2 for KC, but 1 of 8 on 3rd down for Kansas City is just not a recipe to win. And they nearly won despite that. So imagine had they converted 2 or 3 more of those 3rd downs. Mahomes, 23 for 37, 451, 4 touchdowns, 2 picks. Glenn Roberts was going 28 of 45 for 432, 4 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions as well. Completion percentage, the same. Not quite sure why Mahomes' passer rating was significantly higher, but Roberts also with 111 yards on the ground. I mean, when's the last time we saw a 100-yard rushing game from Roberts? Not normal that we even give him enough runs to make that happen. As Kadarius Toney leading the way for all receivers, 7 for 169 and 2 scores. Rashad Bateman, 8 for 132 and a touchdown. Rashee Rice, 7 for 129 and a touchdown. Trey McBride, 8 for 118 and a touchdown. Rudy Smith nearly crossing that marker as well with 3 for 94 and a score. A.J. Ringer, of course, we saw his big play. Rondale Moore, the catalyst early in the game with 2 first-quarter touchdowns. Defensively, Nick Bolton, he had 11 tackles. Felt like he was a lot more quiet than that. 2 tackles for loss for a couple of guys. You see a couple of guys there with the sacks. Jalen Johnson, Lewis Seen, Benjamin St. Juste, and Willie Gay, each corralling 1 interception. Jalen Weatherspoon with 2 forced fumbles. And we knew coming in that the name of his game was just power on the back end, hit power, tackling ability, run support. And he certainly showed that with those 2 forced fumbles. As you see, man, couple upgrades here. Zach Chambers continuing to climb. Amani Harris now a 92 overall and still just in his 2nd season, man. Just talk about a dominant cornerback room. Rashad Bateman, 94 overall, continues to be a 94 overall. And, overall or not, this is the best receiver in the league, man, for my money. Just look at what he's able to do. And we didn't hold Mahomes under 250, but we did win, so everyone's going to get 1,000 XP. Andrew Stinson's going to start this next game with his X Factor active. And it's going to be a big one, man. Another divisional game. We've already played a handful against the Niners, against the Rams, and now playing our first game. Wow. Don't quote me on that. I might be misremembering. But it is a divisional game nonetheless. And of course, as we mentioned earlier, that means it is going to be the return of one Ty Davis Price. And it couldn't come at a better time, man. We know that Kenneth Walker, he really dominates us every time we played the Seahawks. And now we're going to have our primary running back back in the fold. The running back who I would say, again, for my money, is the best running back in the NFL. And we've been without him for pretty much the entirety of the season. And despite that, just one loss, and it was in a nail biter against a team who at this point still has not lost a game in the Dallas Cowboys. So certainly going to be interested, man, to see what's going to happen down the stretch run. We'll be looking forward to it. I hope y'all, man, continue on this journey with me. As always, be sure to like and subscribe should you feel so inclined. Thank you so much for the support. Until next time, have a great rest of y'all day, and peace.